Hello everyone and welcome to Project 2025 as it actually is. And not what the liberals or conservatives are saying about it, but going to the actual mandate itself. Please note, if you're going to tell me I'm wrong, use the mandate. Otherwise I'm going to disregard your points. Now, I'm not telling you that you must agree with the mandate, but I just think that people should be a little more informed about it rather than just going to what the liberals or the conservatives are saying. What prompted me to make this today was this post that I was tagged in. And Al, I usually don't tag you in my stuff because I respect you as a human being, and I know that my stuff is not aligned with your interests. And the reason why I'm tagging you in this and the other video is so you have an opportunity to learn what Project 2025 is actually about. Anyways, if you guys want to read this for yourself, I've included a link in the description. So now let's look at what the actual mandate says. There is a lot of persuasive speech in this, so I'm only highlighting the essential points. Now here are the core things behind Project 2025. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. Secure our God-given individual rights to live freely, what the Constitution calls the blessings of liberty. But I'm not just stopping at the surface level. We are going to be talking about what's actually going to be done, because that's what any good researcher will do. They will study and know more about what specifically is being done. Let's talk about point 1. Just a reminder, there is a lot of persuasive talks in this. I just highlighted the essential points. Fatherlessness is a huge problem. If you actually look it up, you will see for yourself that it is a huge problem. So what Project 2025 is going to do is eliminate marriage penalties and federal welfare programs and the tax code and installing work requirements for food stamps. And they are going to use everything in the government to restore the American family. Now, another thing they're going to do is get rid of a lot of terms from our laws. That includes SOGI, DEI, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists. They will be removing porn and the sexualization of children from the country. It will be outlawed, and the people who produce and distribute it will be imprisoned. And the educators and public librarians who put sex stuff in front of children should be labeled as registered sex offenders. Now, in regards to schools, essentially, Project 2025 is going to say the parents are back in charge. The people whose child that the schools are watching, they will be in charge. If they are uncomfortable, they should be allowed to make a say about it. And those who disagree will be cut off from federal funds. They will also remove critical race theory and gender ideology from the curricula of every public school in the country. You can read why for yourself, it's right here. But the last point is that nobody can reassign the sex of a minor. Please keep in mind, this is not preventing adults, it is preventing minors. Next, under point 1, let's read how they will handle abortion. They will be vigorous in protecting the unborn and innocent life. The other thing, read this sentence right here. They are going to start supporting the adoption process, which should lead to a fix. Because I know there's a lot of testimonies of people who have had bad experiences with adoption. And with the government coming in and be like, okay, we're going to support this. We are going to make this be the best it can. Because that's what support means. Oxford Dictionary definition 2, by the way. But the rest of this page, which is talking about point 2, is a lot of persuasive speech. If you want the summary, Congress is not doing what it's made to do. At least not according to the Constitution. The responsibilities of Congress is now being done through the administrative state, which is ran by, guess who? The president. The checks and balances are no longer there, so here's what they're going to do. To fix this, they are going to dismantle the administrative state. To, quote, do away with these vast abuses of presidential power and remove the career and political bureaucrats who fuel it. They will restore fiscal limits and constitutional accountability, and through that, they will restore national sovereignty to the American people. They will fire unfireable federal bureaucrats. They will do away with wasteful and corrupt bureaus and offices, to muzzle the woke propaganda at every level of our government, and to restore the American people's constitutional authority over the administrative state. and to save untold taxpayer dollars in the process. Moving on to point 3, again, more persuasive stuff, so we're going to go to the next slide. You can read all of this for yourself if you want, but it's more persuasive stuff. Same thing with this. Read it for yourself. You can read this entire thing for yourself, but the point I want to point out is at the bottom. Any international organization that erodes our Constitution, rule of law, or popular sovereignty will be abandoned. Illegal immigration, which allows the criminals to come in, will be ended. The border will be sealed, not reprioritized. Chinese propaganda and espionage will be outlawed. And universities taking money from the CCP will lose accreditation, charters, and eligibility for federal funds. Moving on to the reserves of oil and natural gas. It will restore higher wages for workers who did not go to college. It would rebalance power away from dangerous regimes in Russia and the Middle East, build alliances in Africa, and drive billions of dollars to private investment of the communities that have been hammered by globalization since the 1990s. Next up, let's talk about point 4, the blessings of liberty, in which the Constitution grants us the pursuit of a good life. For some, that is family, marriage, and children. For others, it's work. Some people find happiness in religious devotion and spirituality, and others find it in local voluntary communities of friends, neighbors, or their civic or charitable work. These are the rights given to all human beings, which includes those in the womb, by the way. And they are not just rights. It's authority. Then they start going into the conclusion in page 14 before going into all the nitpick specifics. But it's saying the government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. And that the next president should promote pro-growth economic policies that spur new jobs and investment, higher wages, and productivity. And that includes overdue tax and regulatory reform. It will also go against the monopolies and promote education outside of the woke doctrine. And the final last little tidbit is the next conservative president must defend our First Amendment rights. There is a whole lot more, and I do heavily encourage you guys not to just follow my word for it, even though I did quote directly from the mandate, but to read the mandate yourself. So important. Did you see anything that went against LGBTQ parents? Or anything to limit Plan B? Or to legally recognize only those with a husband and wife? Or anything about divorce? The goal of this video, and all these shorts, was to stop the spread of misinformation and encourage people to research things for themselves. Because people on all sides will twist what the other political party is trying to do in an effort to make people support them. So I'm going to close things here. I hope everybody has a blessed day.